Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. My Mental Health Matters Facebook group is officially 6 months old today. That's really old, right? It's been an exciting journey, full of its up and down, but we're here and every reason to celebrate, I think we should not miss it. And that's why we're celebrating it as if yes, it is a big deal. Okay? And guess what? There's no better way to start the celebration but with this information program for our people and everybody that enjoys what we're doing, everybody that's been learning from what we're doing. And I'm even honored that I'm starting this celebration with my very, very good friend, Bolatito. Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so without wasting any time, I want us to just go into what we want to talk about today. It has to do with mental health, but hey, there's so many things affecting people's mental health, and one of it is whatever is going on with our children. And I thought that before we move to any other group, we should focus more on children. Not just all children, but even children that needs a little bit more of our attention. And you are the experts in that. My expert, Bola Patoki. Welcome.
Thank you, Dayo. I'm so
Okay,
happy to be here with you today.
thank you.
And of course, congratulations and happy celebration to my mental health matters. You've been doing so awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So before we start, let me let people know who we're talking to and why they should listen to us because I'm not just saying she's an expert for the sake of it, she really is one. I've known Bola Tito since our college days because we both went to Babcock University. And since then, we've had that friendship, just our happy, jolly friends. And she got her first degree in political science then, and then here in Houston, Texas, she went ahead to do her master's degree in special education, and she's even not stopping there. Bolatito is about to or working on her doctoral program still on special education. Uh, I know that your passion and your interest in individuals with disabilities, I'll say that individuals with disability is just a non-stop thing for you, and I really do appreciate that. And currently, you work as a special education educator in a middle school here in Texas, and you've been working a lot with organizations, schools, and teachers who want to put something constructive in place for children with special needs.
That's true.
So really, I don't think we need any other person than you to discuss this topic with us. Welcome for the third time, Bolatito.
Thank you, Dayo. But I must say that in this during this interview, like it's okay to call it an interview, right? I would like to say let's use the word exceptionalities instead of disabilities. Now, the word disabilities has been eliminated because our focus now is on exceptionalities. And I think that is more positive and more like it's a better language for our individuals with special needs. So now it's individuals with exceptionalities and not disabilities. And when you hear the quote like, see the abilities, not the disabilities, I think that is something everybody has to, be aware of, and we have to consciously and of course always make efforts to use the right terminology.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes, thank you. So I told you this is for us to let people know what children or individuals with disabilities with exceptional
Exceptionalities.
what they need to know. But while we're backstage preparing for this, I said it's good that we still put disabilities so that we're all going to learn together and understand why we need to change. So, just following up on what you just said, let me start by asking you this question: what does disability mean? and then you now come with, let's, relate that, calling it exceptionality to that question.
Okay. So so this is more of when you say when an individual has maybe a mental or physical impairment that is in one way or the other negatively impacting learning. Learning could be in various forms. It could be academic, it could be social skills, it could be just daily living, something that may be lifelong as well. We'll say that person has a type of exceptionality because that individual would need specially designed instruction to be able to function better in life or to be able to learn better in the classroom setting or in whatever environment they find themselves. So any individual that finds themselves diagnosed with a type of exceptionality or disability, like you said, that okay, let's say that fade it out, that child or individual, anyone that has been diagnosed with such mental or physical impairment would be categorized under having a kind of exceptionalities. And there are various forms of it. It could be there are various diagnoses of special needs or exceptionalities. We have autism. We have so many more of them. And I know, like you were saying to me, like, oh, is autism the only exceptionality we have? Is because that is what people always see, and that is what people always say. Everybody, when you see someone, oh, they're doing this, oh, that child must have autism. Now, autism is just like popularly known across, but like everybody knows it's, because there are a lot of researches going on in autism, but there are also a lot of other forms of exceptionalities. We have learning disabilities, we have intellectual disabilities, ADHD could be part of it as well. So blindness, visual impairment, and many more. And all this fall under the category of exceptionalities.
Exceptionality. Okay. So autism is not the only exceptionality that we have, or children with autism or on the spectrum, and not the only ones that have special needs. Is that what you're
Mm,
saying?
that's what I'm saying. That's correct, Dayo. So,
Okay. I
so
want
that
you
is
to
why.
and tell us the other exceptionalities or the special needs that children might have. Can you tell us
Okay.
those once again, if you can make a list so that we can take that in?
Okay, so we have a lot of them. We have, but here in the United States, 13 are identified and recognized with the by the IDEA, that's the body for the special needs for special education. But across board, we still, even with this 13, and we still have some, subcategories under each one. And I would just like to go through a few of it. We have the deaf blindness, we have autism, we have visual impairment, speech impairment, we have traumatic brain injury, we have what else? Intellectual disability. We have orthopedic impairment, other health impairment that would, of course, be part of ADHD. We have visual impairment, multiple disabilities, hearing impairment. So as long as that person, first, I always say diagnosed, because you can't just say, oh, this person has hearing impairments, or this person has visual impairment, so that person needs special education. No. As long as that person has been diagnosed and this impairment or this what category, this thing is affecting it, I would say mental or physical impairment is affecting learning, that the person will not be able to function on their own except they have an individualized plan or a strategic plan or a specific plan for their learning. Then, except that person has it, you will not say that person qualified for special education or that person has an exceptionality. As long as, okay, I need to be able to move this person around, this person needs help moving from one place to the other, this learning is being impacted negatively, and this person needs more support to be able to learn, then that individual falls under such category.
Okay. So with what you said, I want to bring this up. So yesterday or a few days ago, I was watching a documentary about, people with exceptionality, like you said, and there was this person talking about, children or individuals with any kind of special needs should not be separated from those who have special needs, that they should be together in the same class. They should encourage that. She was sharing her story of how her own mom supported her to be in class with other children who do not have any kind of impairment. So you as an expert, I want to ask you this question, in two ways. First, children with disabilities or children with exceptionalities, they're able to learn and succeed, right? That's one. Two is, children with exceptionalities, should they be should they be in the same class or in the same setting with other children who do not have that? Or where do we draw the line so that
Okay.
people would know?
Okay. So first of all, I want to say it's every child deserves an opportunity to learn and to be taught to reach their highest potential. Now, just as we are in the real world, what I know you may not know. So now everybody has an opportunity. When I said to reach their highest potential, is that one child with exceptionality is different from the other child, even if they are under the same category. Each child is different. One thing we have to realize is that every child can learn to reach their highest potential, and no child must be left behind. So now, a lot of, like what you just said, a lot of people keep talking to me too, because some people would say, oh, what if I put them together? Or if this child is with my child in the classroom, or it's going to affect my child, and my child may even get that, how's it called? Like my child that can affect my child. My child too will have disabilities. That's a lie. Inclusion
That's
is
right
what,
there.
yeah, that is a lie right there. For a child to be in the same, a child with exceptionalities to be in the same class with your child, I'm telling you, you're just making the world better. You're making life better for both your child and that child, because it is an inclusive world. It is time for inclusion. Both students in the general education and special education should be able to work together and align together. What people don't know is that even though you may feel like I don't have a child with exceptionality at this time, okay, anything can happen. God forbid. How would you feel if your child is being segregated or separated or stigmatized from learning in the same environment as his peers? So at this point, what we're clamoring for, even as in the body of special educators, is let's be more inclusive. Let there be inclusion. These kids can learn, yes, to their highest potential, to their highest ability, but when it is not tried, how would you know that your child can learn? When you leave this child at home, how would you know that your child can reach their highest potential? The goal for every parent, for every educator, is to make sure that these kids reach independence, are as independent as possible. What if you're not there tomorrow as a parent? What if you're not there tomorrow as a family member? What happens to them? So even like I always tell people, even if it is for this child to be able to learn how to tie his shoes, I'm
Mm.
telling you, that is a plus. That is an advantage. And how can he learn? How can he be able to consistently work on the skills that he has learned? Yes, by including him in the society, by including him with his other peers. So, like a lot of people, you see a child with exceptionality, and they say, oh, maybe the child is 15 years old on the wheelchair, can't move, can't talk, but you still want, oh, baby, oh, let us see these kids as they are. They are a person first before that disability. So, I always tell people individuals with exceptionalities can learn, yes, to their highest potential, and we can help them. And that is why we're there as parents, caregivers, professionals, and anybody in their life. And one thing that is that the community, the society is not even making it,
Okay.
so friendly.
So because that
I'm
I
sorry, I
don't want
just
us
keep going with that. Okay.
no, I don't want us to talk about the community just in passing. I want us
Okay.
to focus on that. But based on what you're saying, saying parents should help their children to get to their best potential, to achieve or to be able to do the best they can do based on
Yes.
their ability. I want to ask you, let me ask these two questions. You can answer them, together. The first one is, do you why do you think some parents hide their children
Mm.
with exceptionalities? I mean, hide I mean, because I mean, we have a global audience. So there's
Yeah.
some places or parts of the world that people are not comfortable to bring their
Proud of.
children, yeah, with their children with exceptionalities out. And sometimes people don't even know that some parents or some family have a child with exceptionalities.
Mm.
Why do you think some parents do this? And the second part of the question is, okay, for those who are not doing that, I mean, what's the message you have for those that are doing that? And for those who are not doing that, what are their roles in making sure that their children achieve the best in education, or that they are included in all that they need to do? So,
Thank you, Dayo. Yes, let me go with the parents. The question about the parents first. Okay, so why do parents hide their kids? Why are they not proud enough to show them off or to bring them out or to include them in the society? Yes, we clamor for inclusion and all that, but why are parents stepping back? And honestly, like this is like across board, because even for developed countries, we still see parents that are not really out there or proud enough to exhibit that. First of all, I want to look at a child. Some of the kids with exceptionality, some may have physical impairment, some may have like behavior issues, and maybe one time that the parent tried to take the child out, something happened and the parent felt, oh, my child, this is an embarrassment for me. What I always tell people is that everybody everybody is responsible for their own action. So first of all, when parents have the what's it called? Like when you're already aware that it's just like me now going out with you and you start acting out or you're doing something or throwing tantrums, that's not me. That is you, Dayo. And I have to be able to know that, okay, I don't care who looks at me because that is Dayo. What I care for as a parent is to be able to manage my child and intervene. So sometimes it's not because they want to keep these kids at home. Sometimes it's the fact that they are not being aware, especially in underdeveloped countries. Parents don't even know. Some parents never heard of autism before. They never heard of any of disabilities or exceptionalities before. Now they just had a child, maybe first time parents, and all these are going on. And some of these countries don't even have enough professionals to help them or put them on track. So they believe that, okay, my comfort zone, my bedroom, please just leave him in the bedroom, because they don't know how to seek for help. So first of all, I want to say, parents, if you have any child, as long as you see, I clamor for early intervention. As long
right.
as you notice something is going on, maybe there's a
Mhm.
developmental problem with the growth, there's a physical impairment, there's something like this child, you've been seeing other kids and your child is not just doing that. Even if it is not, even if it is just a child growing gradually or the child's growth is slow, I would say make sure you check with the child's doctor so that you can
Yeah,
start early in the intervention, so that you can read books, so that you can come on platforms like this to learn. There's no shame in your child. That is your child. People will say a lot, the society, I want to put that in now, may not even help. Family members may not help. You have husband and spouses not even helping because there are a lot of stigma to it. Some people would say, "Oh, it's the mom's fault. Maybe she had
mm,
series of abortion. Maybe she's evil, she's demonic, and God paid her back with that child." And
mm,
this for a mother, especially in some part of where I'm from, especially from there, like people believe. So as a mother, when you already have the society believe that when you have a child with exceptionalities because of your evil doing or because
mm,
of your abortions, what would you
mm,
want to do? You want to hide, you want to step back so people will know that you have that child. I'm telling you, that is wrong information. You having a child with exceptionality has nothing to do with your past, has nothing to do with your past. So do not let anybody make you leave your child out of the world or out of what a child is supposed to gain. What you
right.
need is you want support for your child, and you need to
Mhm,
get the support for your child. The
mm,
best thing is always remember that you may not always be there. Whatever you
right.
do for your child now is what will continue. And
Mhm,
if you know that you're in an environment that is not helping you as a parent, as a mother, as a father, or as a caregiver or guardian of a child with exceptionality, I always say step back, step away. Your child is your number one priority. The society may not be in line with what you're doing, but just try your best to give your child the best of services so that this child can reach their highest potential. Now, I
Right.
think I don't want to go too much in that. I think I'm not talking too
Yeah.
much. So, coming to what you said about society,
Right.
stigmatization.
Right.
Honestly, this is the time for us to be aware as a
Mhm.
society that
Mhm.
everybody is a participant in the society. So if you think that, oh, I'm not going to be fair to an individual with exceptionality, I'm telling you, you see them at your place of work, you see them
Right.
in schools, you see them in churches, you see them, they are not just children, they are adults that have this. So tell me, you want to say when you get to your work and somebody may probably has ADHD or emotional disturbance, and you don't know how to manage it, you may even lose your job as well.
Mm.
And honestly, I just feel like being aware and knowing the people we live in the same community with, people we live in the same society with, helps to helps the society to grow, because
Mm.
everybody has an understanding, and you can build. We want change, we want a better community, even for our
Mhm.
children. So at this
Right.
time is the time to build it into our children. People say, I don't had a discussion with you, and you said some people will definitely say, oh, my child can't be in that class with that person, it's going to
Right.
affect it. Why don't you teach your child love?
Yes.
You are
Kindness.
just so lucky. Kindness, empathy,
Right.
see in the eyes of what that person is saying. Think of ways that, okay, even if you don't know her, how can you support this individual? Parents with people with exceptionalities, they are daily suffering, they are daily sad, they have a lot of pressure, things to deal with. Let us just be empathetic towards them. Let us teach our kids to support. Let us let our children know that this is not a stigma. This is not a disease. This is not like HIV or COVID-19. That a child, if I touch you, I will get it. No. So if you don't teach your child love now, how would your child be a leader, a future leader? So
Mm.
this is very important.
Mm. Okay, so before I go to my next question that I have for you, we have a question here that's from Fato Kitobi, that is the government really helping to encourage adequate and professional learning for individuals with exceptionalities, especially with resources, learning environment, materials? Why is the bulk mostly on private sector? I so what do you think about that?
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I must say, I know this person is in Nigeria, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So, because I would say, like over here, like the government is doing a lot, and it hurts my feeling where you see how the government here is trying and doing it daily to support our individuals with exceptionalities. And this is because there's inclusion, and because there's how will I put it? There's there's worth. They see worth in every individual.
And if every person, every,
Now, in every person, everybody, like I said earlier, it is that person first before the individual, before the disability or
right.
whatever, or the needs, or that person's special needs.
Mhm.
Refer to that person first. And this is to the government. Like,
Mhm.
it is time to be able to understand that we have people in our environment that may not think the same way you think, that may not be not have the cognitive ability as every other person. Now,
Mhm.
if you don't think of them, if you don't support them, how
Mhm.
would things move forward? How would your environment or country be better? Yes, I understand that in a country like the underdeveloped countries, the government don't have support. And unfortunately, we have a lot of private sectors too, that what they want to do, because I've spoken with parents like in Nigeria, and what they want to do is that they want to exploit these people, because they know that this is me. You're coming to my school, and I've seen schools that, but they just want to take the fees are high. Parents, some parents can't even afford it. So this is just a clarion call to our community, to our government in Nigeria as well. Please, I looked at the Ministry of Education, and I looked at what they have, and they have good plans for special education. I was surprised. I was just looking through, and I'm like, oh, is there anything? Do they even know or are aware of special education? Yes, they are aware. They have plans. It's written down. Okay,
It's
but
just on
are we?
paper.
It's just on paper. We need work. We need inclusion. We need to find resources, to create resources, and we need to create curriculums to support so that schools that, as they are teaching other students in the general education, they can also support these individuals with special needs. And let me tell you something, the
Yeah.
government seems to be aware that if they are able to do that, it's going to help the society at large.
Right.
Because, like I said, these individuals can learn. So tell me, if you are not training them, if you are not in their life, then you're going to have a lot of children on the street. You're going to have a lot of children, maybe parents abandoning them, and the government has to bother about that. So why don't we eliminate all those future occurrences and start now? So, Mr. Toby, I hope I answered your question. The private sector too, I understand how difficult it is or how expensive it is to import things, resources, materials. But I can
Right.
tell you now, it's a virtual world. Like
Right.
I personally, I create curriculums as well. I help with
Right.
trainings because these teachers just find themselves. You see a child with autism in your classroom. You don't even know. Is there any training? Is there any support for the teacher, for the educator? Even the
Mm-hmm.
parent dropping off, all they want to know is that please do not maltreat my child, because
Mm.
they're not even aware of how their child can learn. So there's
Right.
support system. Um, every time people are coming out more about special education, we've
Mm.
seen things going on here, like where I live. I've seen things going on. I see that there's support for these people. I see that these people can be included in the society, and the importance of being included is very, 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 very. It is very important. It is very important.
Very important.
Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, I'm glad we had the viewer ask that question because it covered another angle. And so, what I want to ask you now is, what do parents need? Their, how can parents ensure that their kids get the best? In some places, like we're talking about, the variation in different parts of the world on,
Mm.
on the availability of resources to help and support individuals with exceptionalities.
Mhm.
What should parents know, regardless of where they are? And how can we balance that, what parents know on what they want with what teachers can provide and what is out there? What's the
Okay.
role we need to play, together now on that individual, parental, and educational level?
Educators. First of all, I want to use the word number one, acceptance.
Who should accept?
Parents should
Okay.
accept.
Okay.
Acceptance that my child has this special needs.
Hmm.
Acceptance that I do not care what the world thinks.
Thank you.
Acceptance that my child is my priority.
Hmm.
Acceptance will make you go to any extreme or any length to
Right.
support what you believe in.
Right.
If you don't accept, when somebody says something, you withdraw. So I
Hmm.
want to say to parents out there, if you have a child that is special needs, or that needs specially designed instruction to function better in life, I would say first thing is to accept. So now, like you always say, my mental health matters. When you accept something, that puts in a place of superiority. That puts you in a place where you can learn. You are open to learning. You are open to engage in that conversation. You are not shy. You don't feel stigmatized to come out and talk about your child. It's so funny that when you hear people when like when you hear people talk about special needs, you see people more that they don't even have kids with it. The ones that do want to withdraw because I don't want people to know. Or what if they know? Like I said, stigmatization. But as a parent, the first thing is acceptance. Now, if you find yourself in a community where you are not open, or where you know that there are challenges in the way this child can be trained, I want to tell you that this is an opportunity for you to even start. Don't wait. Don't wait. If people, just like people are rising up for different causes every day, just like people are rising up, oh, I'm clamoring against rape, clamoring against all these things going on in the society. Rise up for your child with special needs.
Hmm.
When you do, you see support. Now
Right.
is the time, because people are on Facebook, there are groups on Facebook, their support system is strong now. So you want to even put yourself in that support system so that even if you don't know, you would be able to relate better with the teacher, with the
Mm-hmm.
educator, someone teaching your child. You can relate better with them and let them know this is the gap. This is the gap I want to bridge. This is what I've identified. Like here, we know we have something called individualized educational plan. So for every child has a unique way of learning in their
Mm-hmm.
own way, the best way that they can learn. So now, parents, it's time for you to start looking at your child, observing your child. What are the
Mm-hmm.
things I've noticed in this child? What are the things and I want this child to learn?
Right.
Remember that functioning in life is not just about knowing mathematics or English or science or social studies. The
Mm-hmm.
basic function of life is your skills, daily living. Start from there. How can I help this child daily? Then how can I inculcate or put this daily living with academics? How can this now generally help in the learning environment, in the church, and everywhere my child goes to? So that when you speak to an educator, like I said, in other developed countries, except we want to deceive ourselves, educators are not mostly trained for special needs. They are not mostly trained. So um let the thing begin with parents. Parents,
Mm-hmm.
you are the first advocate for your children. Parents, do not sit back. Do not
Right.
sit back. Those people that you think you go to and you leave your child at home, when the chips are down, they're not going to be there. When you
Right.
leave the laugh at you like, oh, couldn't even bring her child. So those are not important. Your child is your future. Let us start. Be that parent to get up as an advocate for children with special needs, wherever you are. And you have
Right.
my support. I know you have dire support. You have professional support. People
Right.
are over there. We have speech therapists. We have um what's it called? We have occupational therapists, physical therapists over there. And I spoke with Dr. Mobola the other time. She's in Yaba. She's a psychiatric doctor. Is that what you call? She's in
Psychiatric.
Yaba. Yeah, I'm going to share the information with Dayo too. And she said they have a unit for individuals with special needs where they help them. People are not aware of that. And all these professionals that help these individuals are there.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I always want to say again, I want to share again, that you're sorry. I want to
It's
share
okay.
again that students, you're in school, you're trying to go to college. There are a
Yeah.
lot of opportunities, career opportunities in the area of special education. Career
Yes.
opportunities that you can even succeed in.
Yes.
You
And
can
career opportunities in mental health too.
in mental
Counseling,
health as well.
nurse practitioner, psychiatry, there are a lot. As in, it's
Exactly.
there's a huge need. There's a huge need for professionals. So please, I'm
Exactly.
your
So don't just
child.
think, oh, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a pharmacist, I want to be an engineer. I'm telling you, you can be
Yeah.
a speech therapist, you can be a physical therapist, occupational therapist, you can be a special ed counselor, you can be a diagnostician.
Right.
Create that niche for yourself. Create
Yes.
that niche for yourself, and this will support the society. When you do things like this, you're helping yourself, helping the society at large. So
Yes.
this is the time when we have enough professionals in this area too. People would see the reason why their child exists. They will see a reason why their child should be given an opportunity to reach their highest potential, Dayo. So
Yeah.
please, when you're still training, it's not too late for anyone to learn. I didn't start my career with special needs, but I just realized that growing up, I see a lot of, mostly Down syndrome. That is the one you really see out there that you can physically see. And I'm like, oh, why are these people like this? And honestly, like, since then, as a young child, I always feel like, oh, this person are not getting what I'm getting. This is not fair. Until
Mm.
I knew that like, it took me to my like young adults, like to know that these individuals can actually learn. The stigma was there all along. Like for them, like, oh, maybe oh, they are drooling. Oh, maybe if I thought they drool, I would become like that. But
Yeah.
the day I decided that, oh no, these people can learn, I'm going to
Mhm.
do everything to support them. And that was how this started. And I'm
Thank
telling you, it is a very, very rewarding career. Parents, educators, people have their students, young teenagers. Think
Yeah.
about career in this line. Mental
Yeah.
health. People need this daily. Let us come out and do careers that are rewarding and can
Yeah.
help better the lives of other people as well.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. So as we're wrapping up now, I want to ask you these questions. If you can touch briefly about transitioning, because as you
Mm,
are talking about them going to college, optimizing even job opportunities for those with exceptionalities and different places, they can also get a job, right? They can
that's
also do
true.
things. They can live alone. There are so many things that they can do
Mm,
if they get the support. So I want you to touch briefly on the importance of. You talked about early intervention.
intervention.
I want you to talk briefly about transitioning, the importance of transitioning for them, and then closely to talk about as community members, what are the things we should know to be able to support people or families or individuals who have exceptionalities. What should we know? What do they want
Mm,
us to know as community members, as family members, as relatives, as neighbors? What do they want us to know? So those two
mm.
questions, and then we'll
Okay.
be wrapped up.
Thank you, Dayo. Those are huge questions. If you know, like transition, that's number one for me because the end goal of all this that we do is for the child to be able to seamlessly transition. And
What
when
does
I say
transitioning mean? What does
exactly,
transition?
moving that child from childhood into the adult life, what happens? Remember, your child will not just be that little baby that you carry all day, or that child you can just put on the seat belt, car seats, or just put at the back and say, "These kids grow, and what are your plans for this growth?" People always say, "Oh, of course, start when it is when the child gets to this age, when the child." But I'm telling you, right from the first day that you understand and you know and you're aware that your child has a type of exceptionality, I'm telling you that is the day your transition plans should begin.
Thank you.
And this is because you want to ensure for our individuals with special needs, some of them it takes time to know, to learn. So consistency is very important. If you are not consistent in their early life, you cannot expect to now bombard them with those teachings when they become 18 or 21. You need to start whatever plan you have. That is why parents, it's educators, observe your child now. What do they like to do? Where do they like to be? What are the ways they live? How do they eat? What do they like to eat? You want to be able to understand that you have a daily schedule, you consistently monitoring this thing, and then you want to be able to know, okay, is my child capable of working? Is my child capable of is my child employable? If my child is not employable, what skill have I seen in my child that this child can use? Not everybody can go to college. Even if your child does not have special needs, not everybody can go to college. Not everybody will go to college. So that you can give your child is now. If your child likes to make hair, start. Start building it from the young. Buy dolls. Let the child practice. Let the siblings sit down. Practice with that child. Let the child watch videos. A lot of DIY right now. How to do this. All you just need is to support with explanation and learning goals. Create a niche for your child. And I always say, most people that we see successful in the area of special, that maybe through one thing or the other, they went through special education, they got this support from the house first. Parents, is your call. It starts from you. What you notice in the house, let the teacher know. My child likes to cook. My child, he may have his own restaurant. I'm telling you, he may have a
Mm,
restaurant that he doesn't even have to be selling rice and beans, everything. It can just be a niche. My
you're
child
right.
he has learned how to make fried rice. He has learned how to make sandwiches.
Hmm.
That is a niche for that child. So it is not
Right.
for you as a parent to promote your child. So when you're transitioning, when you're talking about transition plans, it starts from day one. And most importantly, when you're planning transition for your child with exceptionality, plan it that what if you are not there? Where does this child go? When this child becomes 18, where does he live? Are there siblings that will take over? Siblings, this is the time, you know, you need to plan it. Where your brother or your sister is this age, he lives with you. Plan it so that when that sibling is also making choices of getting married, he's already telling his spouse or her spouse that this is what you're doing with my brother. So it's not that you've gone, maybe parents, you can fall sick as parents, you may not be functionable in life later in life. So you want to be sure that there's plan for this child. You don't want this child because it confuses them when everything. the death of a parent, death of this, and there's no plan, I'm telling you, you just leave it, everything you've worked for will just go shum like that. So you want to ensure that where this child will live, what this child will do, how this child will be able to visit doctors and all the appointments. And when you're planning transition, please write down. Write down. We
You
have
always
seen
say that, and
parents.
I like it. You always
Yeah,
say, write it down, put it somewhere so that someone,
exactly.
if you're not
Someone,
available, someone can pick
someone
it up
can
and
keep it up.
continue from where you
We've
stop.
seen, yeah, and truly this has happened to people that I know that they woke up with stroke and
Oh,
they were healthy. They woke
mm,
up with stroke, they couldn't function again. Tell me,
mm,
if there's no record, how would you be able to say, oh, these are the plans I have for my child? So as we daily live, please, it is not just about doing all this for, don't let your effort go in vain. Please
mm.
take the advantage. Even if you don't know how to put these things in place, there are professionals that can help you. There are people that can help you have it. Seek for this support. It is not, it's not stigma seeking for support. And then let me move to the other, what do I want to tell the people?
What do you want to
People,
tell us, everybody?
people looking at me now, watching me,
Listen.
watching Dayo on my mental health matters now.
Yeah.
Let us give everybody around us an opportunity. Let us be more like, let's accept. This is a community, this is a world that we can't live alone. And honestly, like the sweetest people that I've worked with, that I've seen, are those with special needs, because there's nothing as having a plain heart, especially our individuals with autism. There's nothing as having a plain heart are those people. There's no struggle. You know, when they do things, it's not to hurt you. It is because they are not capable of helping their mental health or their physical being. So it's not about you. When you see a child in the store, when you see a parent holding a child, the child is screaming. You know, there was a video that went viral the other time. This child was in the classroom throwing things, tantrums. And people kept criticizing, oh, if that was my child, I would have whooped that child. Oh, this child should be flogged. The mother must have lacked discipline. Guys, this is a time to see beyond what we know. When you see a child throw tantrums, I'm telling you, how do you think somebody would really want to come out and do all that? And then you blame it on the parent that they did not discipline their child. That is very, 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 very unfair. Parents with this individual struggle daily to help their children fit into the society. It must not be like that. And this is because of how we view them. Let this stigmatization stop. Talk to your family members. People see their family, their sisters, son, their nephews, their nieces, and they cannot even ask. Even because it's difficult to tell you as a parent of a child with special needs, to tell you that my child has, because I don't know what you're going to think. But you can ask simply, how can I support you? There's nothing with you. Like, if a child throws tantrum, parents are working daily on behavior intervention. Help support them. You adding to what they're already going through would not help them. You are killing their mental health. And you're killing these parents, you're killing these caregivers. People even see special education teachers. Oh, you people, why would you even be doing that to a child? Would you even want to help that child? Oh, this child cannot learn. I'm telling you, all these are they are words that should not be heard from, if people that say, oh, they are human. It should not be heard. And support, like, I know I had a video about the religious organizations too. This is a huge community where people worship every time. Either you're a Muslim, you're a Christian, pastors, imams, traditional leaders, worshippers. I want you to step up, talk to your congregation. People with special needs come to your churches too. It may not be glaring. You see somebody overreact when maybe there's an accident. You're like, oh, why is he overreacting? It can be somebody that has emotional disturbance. It could be bipolar. It could be anything. Give that person a benefit of doubt first. And think about it. Don't just flare up at people's reaction. It is not about you. Special education, special needs, disabilities, exceptionality is not about you when they act like that. But as an individual that is capable of cognitively using whatever thing God has given them, it is an opportunity for you to intervene appropriately, not to escalate or to trigger it. So again, community, stop the stigmatization, be empathetic, be patient. When you see people like that, support. We need your support. We need it not for these individuals alone, but for their caregivers, for their parents. And this will really help our society at large, our country and the world at large. Thank you, Dayo.
Thank
I can
you.
keep going. I can keep going.
I know, I know. You are just striking the right chords, and I really appreciate it. I'm sure
Thank you.
we have viewers there saying thank you. I can't see their names, but there are viewers saying thank you very much for the information you just gave us, and I'm saying
And
thank you
thank you.
to for coming here to share all this with us. And it's so, what the point, the golden nugget for me of what you've said, even you said a lot of valuable stuff, is that you may not always be there to
Mm.
parents. We may not always be there. So we should do our best now to support our kids and put things in place as much as possible for them. And another important thing you said is that everything starts with acceptance on the parents' part. If we keep ignoring or we stay in denial, we'll not even be able to position ourselves to put things in place to help those
Mm.
children.
That's
So
true.
those are very important things that you said, and I do appreciate that. So you cannot have all this value and all this information and will not know how to reach you.
Oh
Okay, and I
yeah.
want to also challenge you that I know that you work with to develop plans and do things like that, but may I challenge you to also start training for teachers? Maybe you
Yes,
can do
I
it
do.
virtually now.
Yes, I
Start
do. I do a lot of trainings actually
okay, please tell
for
us how
teachers, for
they can
educators.
reach you and what they can reach you for.
Okay, so first of all, I help build curriculums for people that need both the schools, even religious organizations are coming up now to include special needs children in their maybe youth church, their adult church, and their Sunday school. I help with such curriculum, and I also help parents and
Okay.
caregivers as well to develop curriculums. And for the opportunities for the government, I'm able to develop curriculums, instructional materials, and resources, provide instructional materials and resources for our individual exceptionalities. And also, I also personally help to build individualized education plans for children. So if you're a parent out there, if you're a school out there, I need support in this area, I am available for that. And also to train your teachers. Like I said, you cannot work with a child with special needs if you really do not understand what their exceptionality is about. If you
Right.
don't know a child, you cannot work with that child. It's going to
Right.
even be frustrating on the educator as well. So with the teacher training, I provide trainings for educators and also behavior intervention plans. I help as long as the child is diagnosed and you have the documentation for that, and you need support in being able to help your child's behavior. Yes, I'm available for that. And even I'm taking classes on that as well to better myself with the behavior intervention. And
You
also
won't
have a
stop.
YouTube.
Will you?
Okay. Then I also what's it called? I help with making sure that parents understand evidence-based practices, especially for individuals with autism. We have evidence-based practices, practices that have worked, scientific practices that have worked and has been used and tried and are working. So if you need help and support in that, I'm available. And most importantly, I have a YouTube channel called Sped Every Day, where I release content every Friday. So if you want to be part of that, just go on YouTube, search for Sped Every Day, just as my name is on the screen right now, Sped Every Day. And then every Friday, I'm telling you, there are a lot of resources out there already. And
So much.
what Sped Every Day is actually to what we do and why that YouTube channel is there is to support, to better support our individuals' exceptionalities, to support parents and the caregivers, to create awareness for inclusion as well, and to help
Right.
with independence and transitioning for our individuals with special needs. And if you want to reach me, my number is always there. Like you can call me anytime. If I'm at work, because I also have other jobs, I'm a teacher, like a special educator. And so if I'm at work, I may not pick your call, but give me a text. My number is +1 832 762 5070. +1 832 762 5070. And the best way to actually reach me is through email.
Okay.
I respond to all my emails within 24 hours, and it's called sparedeveryday@gmail.com. Sparedeveryday@gmail.com. And also as a support, in case if you're not part of on my page, or you're not part of my YouTube subscribers, as a support for our country, Nigeria. For 2 weeks, 2 Fridays, I said I won't be releasing videos. So I Spared Every Day, we are working on giving free consultations and assistance and support to parents who need help for their child with special needs. So you have 2 free weeks. It started on Friday and it's going to end this Friday because I release content every Friday. So I'm not going to be making videos or releasing content. I didn't release on Friday. I've been there supporting parents that need this assistance. And it's
Great.
just for them to know because, for example, with what is going on, I'm sorry that you're taking your time. For
It's
example,
okay.
what is going on in Nigeria right now, a lot of people believe that individuals with special needs do not understand. Oh, they cannot program. They don't know what's going on. I'm telling you, everybody is capable of emotions. If they don't see, they hear. If they don't know, they can feel the environment and it is tense. And
Yes.
parents, a lot of parents of special needs students now are going, especially starting from the COVID-19. Student schedule had to be changed. There's more frustration at home for these individuals.
Right.
So that is why Spared Every Day I set up this support to help our individuals. So parents, if you need help with anything concerning your child behavior intervention, individualized education plan, you just need somebody to talk to in that area to understand what you're actually going through. Call me +1 832 762 5070. You can also send me an email, sparedeveryday@gmail.com. And Dayo, I'm sure you are the number one contact as well. So I'm sure if
It's
you reach Dayo, you'll be able to reach me.
Yeah, I'll make sure that I put all the ways they can contact you under this video, so that if you want to reach out to Bola Tito, please do not hesitate. Reach out to her. If you have to, reach out to me too. We're here to support. And Bola Tito, thank you for what you're doing, sacrificing your time to help and support parents out there. That is
Thank you,
really
Dayo.
that is really great. Thank you so much. So, well, this is I wish we could continue and
I
talk more
wish
and
to.
talk more and people with, but thank you for all that you've shared with us. Very valuable, exceptional. Okay.
Thank you. And thanks for
So
having me, Ty. Honestly, I don't know how to say thank you, but you've been doing awesome. You've helped my mental health personally as well. I love
yeah,
listening to you on Saturdays, and when you just pop up on Facebook, just like that, too, we just like, honestly, not just you, we appreciate it. And it's so nice what you're doing because, I
thank
went
you.
somewhere to make my hair, and I was just talking with this guy, and, we're just chatting, and then it was like, oh, but do you know about your mental health matters, right? I have a friend. Is on Facebook. Her name is Dayo, and she does this thing. My mental health matters. Oh, it's even Saturday. Let's watch her. And I'm like, oh, so like you're really, really impacting lives that you don't know. And the guy was surprised. I'm one of the members of my mental health matters, and and it's like, are you serious? And that's how things go. And I just want to
Yeah,
tell our audience today, don't just keep all this information to yourself. Spread it out, share it. Most times, it hurts my feeling when we see videos like comedies and jokes, things that really would not impact us like that, like would not positively add value to us, and we just keep sharing. Guess what? See what this person said. Oh, this is the new slang, or this is, all those things. But when it comes to content like this, things that can actually help, we step back in sharing. We step back in letting people know. Some people will say, I don't want my person to know, that maybe they will think I'm referring to their child. Don't keep this information to yourself. Please, let's all work together. Let's spread this. When we see something educative, they will say, oh, it's a long video, all these things. Think about how it's going to positively impact the community first. And then please share. Don't let us just talk about to this audience right here. You can, if everybody shares to 10 people, guess what? You're building that community already. This word is traveling far. So I just want to appeal to everyone watching this to please not just watch alone. Don't be selfish. You know,
Thank you.
just share the content. And again, Dayo, I want to say thank you so much, Dayo, for what you're doing. Thanks for having me here. And I can just brag to everybody that the first person to celebrate 6 months with my mental health matters. Yay! I'm so proud of
Yay!
myself. So I'm
Thank you.
special.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate you. So all our viewers, watching it live or that will be watching the replay, the fact that you tuned in to watch this tells me something about you. You are special and you are knowledgeable and you are not just one of those people. You are special. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for being with us. Please send your questions in. Bolatito is in the group My Mental Health Matters. I would put more of our information out there so you can reach her. Let this not stop here. Like she said, share it. And again, your mental health matters. I'll see you tomorrow morning when we'll be talking about dementia. You don't want to miss it. Bye.
Bye, Dayo.